Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Terry J. Gingrass. That's James Gingrass. And this is Dr. G's ADHD Chat, a show trying to make the world safe for ADHDers. I am a clinical psychologist and neuropsychologist, and I've been in private practice for a long, long time. And I am also the parent of a whole bunch of ADHD people. I have at least two kids that probably are. My wife is thinking now she is, and I have relatives on her side of the, well, at least we know that are confirmed on her side of the family that are ADHD, and I've got a couple on my side of the family that probably are. So anyway, I have been surrounded by ADHD pretty much my whole life, and the problem with that, of course, has been that although ADHD has been described in medical literature since 1775, we didn't really have a proper title for it or any real research done on it for, well, till 1980 is when the American Psychiatric Association first submitted a diagnosis of attention deficit disorder. And then 7 years later, 87, they turned it into attention deficit hyperactivity disorder for who knows what reason. But the research in the area really took off in those days. And so while I have several kids who are middle-aged now, when they were growing up, we didn't know anything about ADHD. We didn't know anything about treating it. There was people were using stimulants, but it was not well understood why it would work and that sort of stuff. So it was a pretty rough haul for us. Fortunately, now there's a lot of research out there, and we know a lot about ADHD, and it seems like principally it's about neurotransmitters that are being prematurely depleted in the brain, and that the hyperactivity part of things is trying to generate more of those neurotransmitters. It works. Exercise stimulates certain neurotransmitters in the brain, and those are the ones we need to control attention and executive functioning and so on. ADHDers being impulsive and frequently not stopping to consider the consequences of things. If they are not under treatment, are way more likely to end up with a substance abuse issue. Now, today we're talking about marijuana, which, back in the screaming 60s, it was like, why are they making this illegal? It's just, da 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 da. There's no good reason for it. Blip de blip. Okay, and they go back to the, I think what was it, the 30s sometime anyway. Back in those days, alcohol was illegal and marijuana was legal. And then, son of a gun, here we are. The deal is, though, it hasn't really. Marijuana is now legal in many states, and sort of, so what in a bunch of other states. Some states are, even though they still have laws in the books, they're not enforcing them. But anyway, but the interesting thing about that, and perhaps the problem of that is, there's the marijuana that was available in the 30s, and there's the current marijuana, which, thanks to our brethren in the agronomy departments of various universities, they have done their best to make it more potent, to increase the THC in marijuana. And so there's not a whole lot of research, and what little there is maybe not done on the current potency of marijuana. So good luck. Okay. The big deal with marijuana, especially for ADHDers, is that it's associated with cognitive impairments, attention, memory, executive functioning. Gee, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? It sounds like just like all those ADHD kids out there or in your home. And so they're already having problems, and this is just probably will make it worse. In addition, marijuana interacts with medications that are commonly prescribed for ADHD, such as the stimulants. And honestly, the reactions are unpredictable. We don't really know exactly what it's going to be like, but it's probably not a good thing. And they're saying marijuana also causes increased susceptibility to substance abuse. And, well, that also makes it harder to treat substance abuse if you're smoking marijuana regularly. I don't know, I mean, I remember not many years ago, Willie Nelson saying that smoking marijuana saved his life because he was a hopeless alcoholic without it. I don't know. I'm not sure that's a real thing, but if Willie believes it, well, anyway. Also, ADHD, I'm sorry, also marijuana can cause difficulties psychologically, anxiety, depression, and other substance abuse disorders. Any benefits of using ADHD are highly variable and not really confirmed by research. It's sometimes people who are highly anxious report being more relaxed when they are using marijuana. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many patients I've had in my office who said, doc, the only time I feel normal is when I'm smoking marijuana. And while these are people who've been diagnosed with ADHD, marijuana is known to have a relaxing and calming effect. Some people have find that it helps them sleep and that sort of thing. But personal reactions vary highly. Some people feel relaxed, mellow. Yeah, man, this is the greatest thing in the world. And other people, not so much. So there's, the biggies is we don't really know what we're talking about here. We don't have enough research to make, big claims that, oh, this is going to be terrible for you, or, oh, this is going to be good for you. So we need more research. We need more time and more research, so the whether marijuana is the greatest thing since sliced bread, or whether it is potentially dangerous and we should watch out for it, is kind of dependent on individuals, as near as we can tell, and until we know more, and if it's bad for some people and what are the characteristics of those people, that kind of thing. We really don't know that. So we can neither recommend nor condemn. All right. I'm Dr. Terry James Gingras. This has been Dr. G's ADHD Chat, a show designed to make the world safe for ADHDers. And we are getting into launch season, and I'll be coming out with a course on parenting ADHDers. I call it strategic parenting because, when you have a regular kid, just a kid with no ADHD, you don't have to be very intentional. You can just wait and react to whatever happens, and probably you'll be okay that way. But when you have an ADHD kid, you have to be more intentional. You have to be looking ahead. You have to be checking to see, or anticipating is what the big deal is. And it's more intense. You have to self-monitor, and you have to monitor him or her. So it's a little more delicate thing. And the other thing is, as I mentioned at the start of this show, ADHD is a neurologic condition. We're pretty sure of that. There may be other factors as well, but at least we know that the neurotransmitter problem. So basically, what you get as one of the weird side effects of it being a neurotransmitter mediated problem is that punishment really doesn't work on these kids. Praise, man, they will jump off the roof for you for praise, but trying to punish them, trying to scold them, that kind of stuff, it really doesn't work because you're dealing with a neurotransmitter problem. And praise increases dopamine, norepinephrines, and punishment does not. It doesn't do anything to it. So basically, they just look at you and go on and probably do it again. I've been there. I have been an ignorant parent of ADHDers, and I have probably made all the mistakes you can make with them. And well, anyway, I will be getting around to within the next 3 or 4 weeks, formally announcing that we're going to have this course available. It'll be about 6 sessions, unless I throw in a bonus or 2, which I sometimes do. And we will try to. We'll try to. I mean, I'm in this business because I like helping people. I'm not thinking I'm going to get rich. Okay, that's for the people who are selling things on internet marketing. They get rich, but us poor clinicians, not so much. Anyway, so that's coming up. Look for it. You can go to my website, terrygingrassphd.com. I've got places for you to sign up. And last week I said we had Calendly, so you could schedule a intake if you wanted to be interviewed about coaching, which is another thing I do that I am increasing since I have shut down a significant part of my private practice. So those 2 things. Course is coming. Oops, where am I at? There we go. Let's see, as I was saying, the course that's coming and my coaching practice, which I'm cranking up like now. Okay. I've been a certified high performance coach for, coming up on 10 years, and have just done it like it was a hobby. Somebody came in and asked for it. Yeah, sure, we can do that. But now I want to make it part of the business. And so if you know someone or think you yourself might benefit from coaching, the cool thing about coaching is about getting the maximum performance out of you that you have possible. Whereas, therapy is more on dealing with the weaknesses. And so um, that's coaching is more about the human potential movement, if you will. Okay, so that's my stuff, my notices, and we'll catch you next week. Oh, one more thing. I have a podcast now, and it's Dr. G's ADHD Chat, and you can get it where you see most of your podcasts, wherever you go for that. I'll probably be there. Okay, we'll catch you next week.